Ryoma, amigo, you're looking as poor as you usually do.
Shut up, Carlos! I don't want to hear that! Get your ass back to Mexico!
Oh, gracias!
When talking about New Getter Robo, many people like to call it an adaptation of the original manga. And while that is true to an extent, there are also some major differences between the two. I'm here today to clear out all the confusion and misconceptions in this comparison of New Getter Robo and the original manga. Let's jam!
The future is bulletproof. The aftermath is secondary. It's time to do it now and do it loud. Killjoys, make some noise.
New Getter Robo, not to be confused with Shin Getter Robo Sekai Saigo no Hi or Getter Robo Armageddon as it is known in the West, is a 13-episode OVA series made in 2004 that serves as a reboot of the Getter franchise for new audiences. It also marks Ken Ishikawa's last involvement with the Getter Robo anime before his passing in 2006. Let's get the most important change out of the way. In the original manga, the main threat the Getter team had to deal with was the Dinosaur Empire, led by Gore. In New Getter, the dinosaurs were changed in favor of the Hyaki Empire, also known as the Demon Army. The Hyaki Empire does appear near the end of the original manga in its sequel Getter Robo G, but placing them at the beginning of the series and removing the Dinosaur Empire altogether seems a little unwarranted. Not to mention that Emperor Burai gets replaced by some one-dimensional original character. What made the Dinosaur Empire so compelling was the reasoning behind their actions. They used to roam the earth way before the humans did, but after a sudden influx of Getter race, they were forced to live underground. During that time, the human race evolved and took over. The Dinosaur Empire just wants to reclaim what they think is rightfully theirs, and I think that's what makes them somewhat sympathetic. Whereas the Hyaki Empire just appeared out of nowhere, wanting to take advantage of the conflict between the humans and the dinosaurs in order to turn everyone into demons. That's the main reason why Getter Robo G is the most forgettable entry in the franchise. Now that we cleared this up, we can jump straight into the meat of this comparison. The original manga starts with the Saotome Research Lab, where Professor Saotome just finished the latest Getter model, right as he sees the signs of the upcoming dinosaur invasion, and is now looking for worthy pilots. New Getter starts right in the midst of battle, as two unknown pilots get ravaged by demons before cutting back to approximately the same scene with Professor Saotome. Next up is the introduction of Ryoma Nagare, and that's where some more significant changes start occurring. In the original manga, the Getter pilots start out as 17-year-old high school students, while in New Getter they are already 20 years old. In the manga, Ryoma goes around competing in karate contests in order to maintain the honor of his father and taking out those who killed him. As he returns home after his most recent fight, he gets assaulted by 3 assassins. After barely taking them out, he gets taken to the Saotome Research Lab. In New Getter, since Ryoma is already 20 years old, he inherited his father's dojo, and his introduction is his fight with some loan sharks on an alleyway. What comes after that is pretty much the same as in the manga. Ryoma gets assaulted by those 3 assassins and then gets taken to Saotome. In the manga, right as Ryoma is taken to the Saotome Research Lab, they get attacked by a dinosaur, moment which assures Ryoma that this is a real threat they have to deal with. While in New Getter, Ryoma stumbles upon some demon corpses in the lab, after which Saotome assures him that they are the real deal. After arriving at the lab in the manga, Ryoma gets to meet Professor Saotome's daughter, Michiru Saotome, and she gets to explain how things work around there to him. In New Getter, Ryoma doesn't meet Michiru until episode 2, so we'll get to that later. However, both versions of Ryoma get to meet the professor's son, Tatsuhito Saotome, around the same time. In the manga, we get a proper introduction as Saotome explains that Tatsuhito will be Ryoma's supervisor before being interrupted by a lizard invasion, and in New Getter, Ryoma meets Tatsuhito right in the middle of a demon invasion. Tatsuhito gets to have more of an active role in New Getter, as he helps fighting off the demons and even gets to pilot the Getter machine, which I thought was a pretty neat addition. In the manga, he sacrifices himself early on and gets possessed by the lizards, Ryoma having to kill him right in front of Professor Saotome and Michiru's eyes. His New Getter counterpart gets infected by a demon and ends up transforming into one, meeting the same tragic fate, with Ryoma having to kill him while piloting the Getter Robo this time around. In the manga, Ryoma had to pilot the head of the Getter, but only to escape the lab. Both versions seem to showcase Professor Saotome's seemingly cruel side by urging Ryoma to sacrifice his own son for the sake of humanity. The ending scene is approached differently by both versions. In New Getter, Professor Saotome's human side is only implied with a subtle detail. In the manga, Ryoma acknowledges that Professor Saotome is actually crying, which I think makes the moment much more impactful. And that pretty much does it for episode 1. Join me next time when I'll talk about Hayato Jin, and oh boy do I have much to say about him.